Hello everyone, thanks for watching my presentation. It's called Assess Me, and that's the name of my new mobile app that I built based on my experience with LMS systems and building assessment platforms. So what I've noticed is that it's really lacking a tool that can be easily accessed and integrated and used by groups of people or organizations that don't have access to too much resources or financial capabilities. So the problem is, like I said, most of the learning management systems provide assessment platforms as part of the a bigger suites of tools, and it's really hard to monetize or to provide only pieces of that bigger system. And if an organization needs an assessment platform, they usually buy the whole suite, and then it's coming as part of it. So smaller organization or groups that don't have the resources or the financial capabilities to purchase those have really had a problem of assessing a group of people for certain contents. And currently those systems, like I said, the big learning management systems are not as easy as this one to set up, and they require all sorts of integration in the back end in order to get them to work. Also, those big LMS systems require that most of them require that you store your content on their cloud, and it is something that not everyone is willing to do in terms of security and then being able to edit this content whenever they want to and provide access to different people. And like I said, the problem also is that the small piece is just the assessment platform that can be it's not easy to separate from the suites that it's provided by bigger companies. So the solution I came up with is to build an assessment platform as an assessment delivery tool, and I focused on the mobile delivery because mobile has been growing a lot lately, and it's being used for pretty much anything. So what I built is something that is accessible through the App Store, and it's just as a matter of download. The only thing that needs to be set up at this point is just adding a link to the actual content of those users, and that's currently done manually, but eventually it can be automated and let the users do that for themselves. Also, how I build this is the content, like I said, lives with their clients. They don't need to store it on our premises or on this platform. All we do is just point to their content, and how we do this is as long as they build their content in a QTI format, which is a standard created by this company. It's called Question and Test Interoperability. And as long as they have the content in this format, the app can actually launch and play an assessment for them. So this is a link to the website, and I have an example that I can show. This is a full screen, so it's not going to work that well from the full screen. And scores are anonymous at this point for the app, which is not the case with the other one. In later implementations, I could explore the solution of providing scores, but we have to deal with more ethical issues at that point. So the app is built on using mobile framework. It's called Ionic and Cordova in AngularJS. AngularJS is just a JavaScript framework, and Ionic and Cordova are mobile frameworks which are used for building mobile apps that can be deployed on different devices, currently on Android devices, on iOS devices, and Windows devices. There is a backend service, which are microservices in a cloud built for calculating and presenting results for the instructor or provider in this case. And as a storage tool, I'm using a NoSQL database. In this case, it's a MongoDB to store the user data and aggregate their scores. There's also security authorization in terms of creating a unique ID with every assessment that only can be used by consumers that provider gives the code to. And that code expires in certain time, so it can be used only in certain time frame, perfect for quick assessment provided by a user. And I'll later demo the app to show you how it works. So this is my Capstone project, and this is the last class that I'm taking in St. Mary's. And I'm really grateful of what I've learned there, and some of the most important things that I've learned I've listed here. Leadership and management, of course, this was one of the main things that I've gone through this journey. But I've learned that those two are separate things, and leadership is about inspiring and influencing people and motivating them to enabling them to contribute towards to the common goal or whatever the company is headed for. And I've also learned that management is about managing entities or people in order to accomplish common goals as well. Very important things that I've learned also in St. Mary's, the ethics, and as far as this project goes and the app that I'm building, ethics is really important. And a few of the things I'll talk about later, what the ethics are with this app. Also, very important things that I've learned in this journey is the public speaking presentation. I've done so many in every class that it's not as hard for me to make a presentation and send my message out there. Innovative thinking is something that not only I've been utilizing here, but I've brought with me with where I've worked with the companies I've worked with. But I've also learned that innovative thinking has to be balanced, and it has to have some sort of results. It shouldn't be blind. Communication and the team, these are probably one of the most important things that I've learned in St. Mary's, specifically when it comes to being a team player and making sure that everything is communicated and it's transparent, so so everyone is comfortable and in their optimum energy to accomplish the common goals. Go to the next. So the ethics in this app, that Assess Me app, are the ones that I came up with are listed here. And one of them is, somebody asked the question whether my app is going to bring or drive out of business competitors, but I don't think we are at that point, at that stage of development of the app, but I hope that in the future, I should be able to pursue some sort of competitive strategy that can not drive competitors, but at least be equal on the market. But at this point, I feel like I'm providing a different product, and it's not something that will be directly related to what the competitors do. Security of the app is very important to me, and currently there is very minimum information that I need from the user, so it's not really an issue at this point. Eventually we might start saving more of the scores and the user data, and then becomes an ethics issue whether we can share that with competitors or other clients, or just in general to people for marketing. Accessibility is currently provided by the frameworks, and I hope that the app is going to be compliant with ADA and other accessibility institutions. At this point, I'm just using the basic accessibility functionalities from the frameworks, but eventually I want to make sure that it's accessible to all sorts of users. And the next thing I want to do is show you the demo of the app. So I have here 5 different links, and first, this is sort of a scenario of the demo. First one is creating basically a provider who added their content, and they want to do an assessment on a group of people. So, for example, this is the provider here, and this is the app launching. So they have to choose their assessment provider. And here they get the list of assessments that they have available in their bank. And this is sort of a biology assessment test, the first one, and then the other one is just a example. So we're going to do the digestive system. So there's no results, so that's why we don't see any results here, but we can initialize the test here. And the way we do it, the provider has to initialize, give it a name, demo1, we'll call it. And once we do that, when they click save, they get a code that they need to provide to their consumers. This is the only code that's going to work for launching this assessment, and it's valid only for a certain time. So now we're going to launch another one as a consumer, and we're going to start the tests, and we can enter anything we want, but it won't be able to continue because the only real code that is going to work here is 7100. So the consumer can start the test now. So this is the standard player for multiple choice questions. We have a pause, we have a timer, we have a next and exit. I'm going to take a few questions here. Go through all the questions to get some results. Yeah, I'm not really good at all the answers here, but so the last question is here. Once they click next, they're going to see the actual test results, and the demo one is here actually, so they can see that this is the actual test that they took. And we have a list of incorrect and correct questions, and how many are correct, and the average time per question. So at this point, a provider can actually see results for the group of people who took the test. So they click on here, and they have the option to view results. And you can see that there's already a demo result, demo 1 assessment that is going for this specific digestive system. They can click on it, and they can see currently for the one user that have taken it, what they've answered. So the question 1, they've answered correct. Question 2, they've answered incorrect 0, incorrect 1. So this is going to basically start fluctuating based on other people's tests, and they will be automatically shown to the provider. For example, let's start the test with another consumer. Okay. This is another consumer. We enter the code 7100. We start the assessment. And I'm going to take more questions correct this time. I will try at least. Yep, I'm doing a lot better here. So as soon as I get to the last question and click next, you're gonna see how on the provider screen the charts are actually gonna start changing based on the results here. There you go. So basically we're showing that for the first questions was answered correct by 2 users. Second questions was answered correct once and incorrect once. Third questions incorrect 2 times, incorrect 0 times, and so on. So we're going to do this exercise with one more user. Okay. So this is the third user. I'm going to start the test again, 7100. Start the assessment. And again, I'll try to do as best as I could to bring this level up of this assessment. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that well, but you get the idea. So here's the last question answer, and we're gonna see the data fluctuating. Here actually we can toggle this and show different view. One is how many is completed on average, how many are correct on average and incorrect on average. And this is actually a different chart where we want certain graph to be going, the bigger the graph the better, I guess. And here I'll do another one with the last user, which is this 7100 again. Start test, next. So I'll make sure we're seeing the provider screen so we can see the data impacting the final scores. And getting there close. So here's the last question. We get the results and the data fluctuated again. So this is basically the demo of the app. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please send them to the email provided below at zxtach@smumn.edu. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye-bye.